So recently I did a video about Leonardo.AI. It's a cool AI app where you can do text to image, kind of like Mid-Journey. If you haven't seen that video yet, click on this one right here. But in those, I showed you all the pictures that you can do and how to use it for print on demand. A lot of you after that video left in the comments that you want to learn how to do patterns. So in this video, I'm going to show you everything I know about patterns, how to create them and where to use them and how to use them. Let's go. Hey everyone, it's Juno with Detour Shirts. In this video, we're going to talk patterns. I'm not going to show all the places that you can do patterns on, but patterns are really huge for print on demand. You can put it on so many different products. The two places that I'm going to show you where you can put it on is Redbubble and Amazon Merch on Demand. But of course, you can use patterns for lots of other print on demand places. There's just so many, I can't show you all of them. So I'm going to show you how to create the patterns in Leonardo AI and then what to do with them after you've created them. I'm going to show you taking them just original size, how to use that, and then how you can scale it up. And I think that actually works better. So I'm going to show you both and how to do it online for free. So let's get into Leonardo AI right now. So here we are on Leonardo AI. It's app.leonardo.ai. If you don't have an account yet, watch my first video. I'll show you in that video how to sign up for an account. It's absolutely free, but it's going to take some time. So watch that first, sign up and get here. And now you can go home. And one of the things, there's several ways to find patterns. So one way you could do it is just scroll down here and look for a pattern. Now, they're not as popular as some of the other things, so you may have to scroll for a little while. You could also type in pattern here. Search. And even though they're not patterns, some of these show up as patterns. But if you scroll down, I think you'll have some there. There's a pattern and you can heart it. Let's see, find another one. Now, flower patterns seem to do the best on Leonardo. So I'm going to highlight these or heart these like these. This one's a nice one. So you just start making a collection of nice patterns. Look at this one. Really cool, right? That's a cool one. And you're going to see a lot more flower patterns, right? And so what I like to do is just bookmark them or like them. There's also these like with animals. Now Leonardo does animals pretty good, but sometimes you're going to see like double eyes or something. Like this one doesn't have double eyes, so this one might be cool. But you can see this one right here, like what happened to that guy right there? So something happened. So just be careful about anything but flowers. Usually flowers aren't so bad, but when you start doing people, animals, other things, it doesn't do really well. Okay, so the other thing I want to show you how to do is, let's scroll up to the top here. Of course, you can go to any of these featured models. So if you want to come in here, I just picked Luna, I just picked one. And you can see if there are patterns in here as well. So there are some like that one. And so you can just bookmark those. And there's also one thing that somebody said in the comments that I didn't know is you can go to these fine-tune models. So check this out. Fine-tune models. This is all of it, which I showed in my last video, which was the one there. But there's also community models, and I can search for things here. So I can do pattern and search. And some people have made patterns too. So you may want to come in here. If you like any of these, you know, you can click on those and save those as well. So you can generate patterns with this model instead of some other models. I don't know how to make models yet, so but you can see this one does patterns for models too. So a couple of things there, and hopefully more and more here. You can just click this off too and just search all. There could be some other community models here that do patterns. So if you scroll down, there might be some, but I don't see any right here. So if you go to category, they may be under one of these. So have fun with this. I'm not going to check all of them, but that's another way that you can find patterns. Okay, so now that we have the patterns, let's go to my personal feed. You can see I've made a bunch of patterns just trying to play around with them. And you can see the ones that I've done, the best ones are flowers, so I kept those. Like, check this out. This one's so cool. Look at that. Very nice colors. And it's hit and miss, but it's more hit than miss with flower patterns. So there's some like this with different styles, just really neat. And you can see I went up here too for my like feed. These are just some of them that I recently liked just on this video, right? We did this one. So here's how you would do it for patterns. So let's say we do this, we can do prompt details, we can do picture, pattern, fill, daisies, watercolor style, sure. We can copy the prompt. We could also copy image to image if we want to make a pattern that's very similar, but let's just do copy prompt. And then I'm going to use this featured model since that's the one they did, illustration V2, that's important. So I'm going to do that and then paste in here, copy, command V, since we copied it already. And you can see that's the same thing right here. So make sure some of these are filled. You can see this is 768, so let's do 768. And then make sure that it's tiling, because tiling will be able so that you can use it in Redbubble and other things where they have that tiling feature, which is really great. So it just multiplies it. So I'll show you how to do that. So now that we have those things, you can do, you know, up to 8 different patterns if you want. I'm just going to do the one because just for simplicity's sake. So let's do this and hit generate. I also like to do one just in case it doesn't turn out, then I don't have 8 that didn't turn out. So let's see what it does if I use the same prompt and the same model. Yeah, pretty good, right? So not exactly like the one that we saw, and we can hit it again. So let's say we don't like that. Maybe we want different colors. I would just add like white and maybe a blue background. And we can put in things like vector if we want, and flat, all those things. You can look at some of the prompts here and then kind of get what they're doing. So you see, this one says vector flowers pattern. So I want a repeatable pattern too. Flower pattern. So let's see what happens when I change these words up here and generate. It's going to give it a while. And let's see, it should be different since I changed the prompt a little bit. Yeah, totally different. Look at that, right? So I don't like that one as much as some of the other ones that I did. So I'm gonna go back, and this one I really like, right? And so you can see that's the prompt I use, and I use Leonardo diffusion. So let's copy this. I can do the same thing, copy this and make sure I do Leonardo diffusion, Leonardo style. So I'm gonna come up here, I'm gonna change it. I did Command C back there. I'm going to do Command V. I'm going to do Leonardo diffusion, Leonardo style. Just do the 1024, right? 1024. Okay, and I'm also doing tiling. Okay, let's see what happens. Now it should make something similar to the one I did, but different, so that I can use it again and again. And the nice thing about AI is that you'll create so many different patterns, and that'll just give you more and more ideas. Now this one is cool, right? Different than the one we had here, but I still love it. So this one right here, I use the same prompt, but I got this right here. Check it out. Really cool. Okay, so we're going to use this as an example. It's only 1024 by 1024, but we're going to download it. You can also upgrade it right here, creative upscale, but I don't think I need to. It still looks really good, right? So I'm going to download it, hit download, and it just takes you to another tab, and you can just drag this off here. And there it is. It's a JPEG that's 1024 by 1024. Now we're going to bring this into Redbubble because it's 1024 by 1024. I cannot use it for merch by Amazon or Amazon merch on demand yet because it's too small. I'm going to show you how to make it bigger, but let's first, if you don't want to make it bigger, I'll show you what it looks like just with this 1024 by 1024. So here we are on Redbubble. I added add work. I clicked on that. So now I can upload my new work, right? So I'm just going to drag this in. This is straight the JPEG that I just saved to my desktop. Didn't do anything to it, straight from Leonardo, right? And let's see. You can see it's right there. And you can see it's really small. So on a t-shirt it wouldn't work, on these it wouldn't work. Even on a phone case it's too small. But what we can do in Redbubble is we can choose this and say regular grid. Now look, because it's a tiling feature, remember we put that on tiling, it tiles everything nicely. So it looks like a pattern, it's just a repeatable pattern, right? And look at this on a phone case. It looks amazing, right? So some of the other ones you can do on here, a lot of these, you can hit that choose pattern. Boom. Do you want it on this right here? Let's enable it. Let's do regular grid. Boom. Look at that. Look at these. Looks amazing. Even a shower curtain, even with that 1024 by 1024, I can come in here, click on here, and hit regular grid. Now, you'll notice that the grid is super small though. You can see it, the pattern is super small, and I can't make it any bigger. I can make it smaller, but I can't make it any bigger. So I'm very limited to the size of my pattern because it's so small at 1024 by 1024, but it does work. I can put it on a lot of these things. Anything on here that you can tile, and which is almost everything. So you can see that looks great on there. So I can come in here and add that to almost any product right here, but I'm going to show you how you can add it to products not only here on Redbubble, but on Amazon Merch on Demand just by increasing the size. So here we are on Vectorizer.AI. Now, these are only going to work for things that are vectors or look like vectors. Some of those watercolor things, I don't know how well it's going to work, but you can do vectors all day long on Leonardo. So come in here, drag this in. So this is going to take a little while, but you're going to see that it's going to look almost exactly the same in a vector. So the nice thing about a vector is you're going to be able to scale it. So once we have this, it's not going to be 1024 by 1024 anymore. It's going to be an SVG, which is different because I can scale it. So you can see here's a vector. Here's the original. Here's the vector. It looks exactly the same. Colors, everything. So I'm going to download this. And you're going to see that it's an SVG. So now I can go into any app that I can make it bigger. I can use Canva, I can use Photopea, I can use Affinity Designer, anything. Just make my artboard 4500 by 5400. But in this case, let's just make it easy, 4500 by 4500 or 5400. Make it a square, right, is what I'm saying. So let's get into Canva since that's free. But again, you can use Photopea. You can use Affinity Designer, you can use Photoshop, Illustrator, anything that can make that size bigger. I'll show you how to do it. So here we are on Canva, canva.com, but you can use any of them. I just picked Canva because I think it's most convenient. I think most people are familiar with Canva and how to get there and how to use it. So we're gonna hit Create Design like this. I'm gonna do Custom Size. Now I'm not gonna pick this, well, I could pick 3000 by 3000, but let's just do 4500 just to make it bigger, 4500. By 4500. Remember, it's a square, so we're going to need a square. And then we're just going to drag in that SVG file that we saved. It should be in your downloads folder. It could be on your desktop, depending where you put it. I'm just going to drag it in here. So because it's an SVG, I can make it bigger. Boom, right? And just make sure that it's you can feel it from corner to corner. So now this one is 4500 by 4500. It's not 1024 by 1024. So let me show you the difference, what happens when it's bigger. First, we're going to need to save this though. So hit save and we can download. I mean, it can be PNG, but you can see 4500 by 4500. It doesn't need to be a transparent background because we have all this background here, and we're going to hit download. Now this is going to save to our desktop or our downloads folder, wherever it is. And then I'm going to show you bringing this into Redbubble, but also Amazon Merch on Demand. So let's go to Redbubble first and I'll show you the difference than what it was before. So we're back on Redbubble, and just to recap, remember this right here on the shower curtain. Look how small the patterns are, right? And I can only make it so big. It looks great on a phone, but anything bigger, it kind of loses it, right? Like this is okay, but if I put it on, like, let's say this bag right here, I can come in here, edit it. I can do the pattern, the regular grid, but look how small it is. I can't make it bigger. I can only make it smaller, right? And you may want the flowers to be bigger. So now that we made it bigger, let's come in here. We're going to replace this image, and let's use the untitled PNG that we just saved, and we're going to make that bigger. So now it's going to save it at a bigger size, 4500 by 4500. Watch the difference now that it's 4 times bigger. So more than 4 times bigger, right? So you can see it fits better on a t-shirt, but we're not going to do those. We're not going to do those. You can. I just don't think. On the A-line dress, I think it does look really cool. So let's do the grid. You can see it does it. And now I can make it smaller or bigger, right? Let's turn that on. Look, looks pretty cool, right? you can see on here, I can make this bigger or smaller now if I do the pattern. Boom. So if I still liked it that way, I have options now, right? I can make it bigger or smaller. I don't think sticker magnets. Pillows, I can do what, watch this. Now that the shower curtain, I can come in here, edit it, and look how big it is. If I do grid, that looks way better than that small pattern, right? So now you have options now that it's bigger. So same thing, I can come in here and just click on a lot of these things and just, you know, change the pattern to grid. Doesn't that look so much better? These look so much better now that it's bigger, right? And you could make it smaller if you want to, but now you have the option. So you can see I could put it on a lot of these. The mini skirt will look way better. Now I'm going to enable that. The tops, the aprons, they look way better, right? Leggings, socks. Now if it doesn't fill the whole thing, come in here and do the grid, and it does, right? This will work on backpacks and duffel bags and everything. So great way to scale it. I think it does a lot better. Let's go into Amazon Merch on Demand, and I'll show you that it will work on pop sockets and pillows and tote bags. All right, so Amazon Merch on Demand, you can see I dragged it in here. Now it doesn't look great on apparel, but look on pop sockets. I can scale this up. Looks great. How about phone cases? Come in here, bring this here, and scale it all the way up. Great on a phone case. I can do here. Now, Amazon Merch on Demand doesn't have tiling, but because it's 4500 by 4500, it's big enough to fit on all of these products here. Boom. So it's not tiling, it's just that same pattern, but it's still really nice. I'm going to finish it off here. Boom. So you can have it on pop sockets, phone cases, tote bags, and pillows. If you want to put it on here, you can. I don't think this makes a great t-shirt. You may have to put other things on top of it, but for some of these other ones, I think you can. So let's go back to Leonardo.AI. I have it here. Imagine now using all of these patterns. You got 150 credits every day, and you can make patterns after patterns after patterns like I did. This is just one day of patterns. Like I go back here on my personal feed. Look at all the patterns. I made this one the other day, you know. This daisy one would be really cool, right? So this may not translate great on vectors, but I haven't tried it. I'm just guessing that the vector ones will do better with the vectorized. So something like this, right, will do better. Or something even more flat, so like this. Can you imagine? That's so cool. So have fun with this. Do as many patterns as you want. I think it'll do great. You can do some abstract things too, but I think flowers and leaves and things do a lot better on Leonardo. But of course you've seen on cats, you saw somebody do cats. I think fruits were one. This one is really nice. So play around with it. Do different prompts. I mean, you get 150 credits every day, so you can try things out. And then if you ever figure out how to make your own models, community models, maybe you're smart enough to do that, you can make one for patterns as well. You can see that there's not very many ones for patterns yet, but hopefully people will make them. So there you go. That's everything I know about patterns, at least on Leonardo.AI. I just started, so I'm going to learn more and more, but you can see I've done so many patterns, and it's a real easy way to put it on Redbubble, as well as Amazon Merch on Demand, as well as a lot of other print on demand sites. I haven't even talked about some of the other ones where you can do patterns for material and things like that. So lots of different places that you can put patterns on there, and you can generate new ones every time, even with the same prompt. If you do 8 at a time or whatever, you may get some really different looking things in different colors. So play around with that, have fun with that. If you haven't seen the first Leonardo video that I did, click on this one right here. It goes through step by step on how to do other things besides patterns, the things that you saw on there, and how to sign up for Leonardo. So thanks again for watching, and as always guys, keep creating and keep learning. I'll see you on the next one.